Long, long ago, in a forgotten corner of the universe, hidden where mortal eyes could never wander, there existed a garden unlike any the world had ever known. It was not a garden of roses, nor lilies, nor earthly flowers, but a garden of living stars. Tiny orbs of light floated above fields of silver grass, pulsing with a soft, melodic hum. Trees soared into skies painted with swirling galaxies, and rivers of glowing water danced between crystal cliffs. It was a place where dreams were born and songs were sung by the stars themselves. But the garden was protected by an ancient magic, the Veil of Whispers, a silvery mist that only parted once every 1,000 years, revealing the garden to a soul, pure enough to still believe in impossible things. At the very edge of the known world, nestled between vast forests and misty hills, lay the village of Eldamir, a sleepy town where the people cared little for dreams and less for magic. They toiled in their fields, spoke only of weather and crops, and scoffed at tales of wonder. In a crumbling cottage at the edge of the village lived a girl named Lyra. Lyra was different. She spent her days wandering the woods, weaving crowns from wildflowers, and talking to trees as if they were old friends. She believed in the music of the rivers and the laughter of the stars. And though the villagers often mocked her, calling her a dreamer, a fool, Lyra's heart remained unshaken. At night, under the silver gaze of the moon, her grandmother would tell her stories. "Listen well, my star child," she would whisper, brushing Lyra's hair with fingers worn soft by time. "The world is stitched together with magic, but only those who keep believing will ever see it." Lyra believed with every beat of her heart. It happened on the coldest night of the year, a night when the sky was so clear that it seemed one could reach out and pluck a star from the heavens. Lyra stood at the edge of the woods, her breath misting in the air. As she stared at the forest, a creature emerged, a moth larger than her hand, with wings that shimmered like fragments of broken starlight. The moth hovered before her, its eyes reflecting galaxies unseen. Without a sound, it turned and drifted into the darkness. Drawn by something deeper than thought, Lyra followed. She chased the moth through tangled woods and over moonlit streams. Her feet barely touched the ground, as if the world itself was holding its breath. Finally, they reached a wall of swirling mist, so dense and bright it seemed stitched from the dreams of 1,000 children. The mist whispered her name, soft and sorrowful. Lyra. Lyra ... Without hesitation, Lyra stepped through. Beyond the mist, the world unfolded into breathtaking wonder. The garden of stars stretched endlessly, a realm of endless twilight and glittering beauty. Fields of light breathed with life. Ancient trees with silver bark stretched into the cosmos, their branches weaving patterns of constellations. Rivers of molten sapphire wound through meadows of glowing grass. Everywhere, music filled the air, a song older than time, carried by the breath of the stars. Lyra stood frozen, tears streaming down her cheeks. "It's real," she whispered, trembling. "It's all real." But then, she noticed something heartbreaking. The stars, the beautiful, living stars, were fading. Their brilliant songs grew thin and tired. Their once bright light dimmed into trembling flickers. The rivers slowed, their songs silenced. The trees, once proud and tall, bent under an invisible weight, their leaves falling like tiny pieces of broken dreams. At the center of the garden stood the ancient tree, its trunk wide as a mountain, its bark shimmering with forgotten memories. Its branches hung low, heavy with sorrow. From deep within, the tree spoke, not in words, but through emotions that wrapped around Lyra's soul like a winter storm. "Hope fades," the tree said. "Belief has withered. The worlds beyond have forgotten wonder. and so we die. But you still believe. Will you help us?" Lyra placed her hand on her chest, feeling the rapid beat of her heart, the heart that still believed in magic, in miracles, in impossible dreams. "Yes," she said, her voice cracking with emotion. "I will believe for all who have forgotten." At her words, a golden light burst from her chest, a radiant song of all her hopes, her dreams, her unwavering faith. The light soared into the heavens, and where it touched, the stars flared to life. Their songs grew louder, richer, wrapping the world in waves of pure joy. The rivers surged with new life, casting rainbows into the misty air. The trees lifted their branches once more, weaving new constellations into the endless sky. The garden was reborn, not as it once was, but stronger, brighter, alive with the dreams of 1,000 new worlds. The ancient tree bowed low before Lyra. From its highest branch, it spun a crown of woven starlight and placed it upon her head. "You are now keeper of the last garden," the tree said, "guardian of wonder, protector of dreams." Lyra's heart swelled with a joy so fierce it hurt. She had found her place, not among the doubters and the cynics, but among the stars. When Lyra returned through the veil of whispers, she was not the same girl who had entered. Behind her ear glowed a single star, warm and bright. Her eyes shimmered like deep oceans, and wherever she walked, small glowing flowers bloomed in her footsteps. The villagers stared in awe. The same people who once laughed now gathered in silence as Lyra walked through the marketplace, her presence turning the dull gray of their lives into something brighter, something more. When she spoke of magical gardens and singing stars, they listened with breathless wonder. Little by little, the people of Eldamir began to remember. Remember how to dream, how to believe in what they could not see, how to dance barefoot under the stars. Lyra became a legend, the girl who saved the last garden, the dreamer who reminded the world that magic was real. And far, far away, hidden behind the veil of whispers, the garden of stars sang her name forever, its light shining brighter than ever. Moral of the story: never let the world steal your wonder. Sometimes, believing in impossible things is the strongest magic there is.